Right. Morning, everyone. Welcome to this phonology course. Hopefully, this will help you develop your spoken skill. I have a lecture, right? Right. I guess all of you have done phonetics, yeah? Is that right? You've all done it, yes. Good. Just to shoot a picture. Right.
Hello, Dr. First.
Pardon me?
Doctor, I am Samir. Doctor, the book is ready in the bookshop or not?
I'll check with the bookshop today.
Okay.
Because I've had a word with them. Did you contact them?
Till now, no, but I will contact them this evening.
It's okay. No, I'll contact them immediately after the lecture. Okay. Right. Now, remember we said that the number of languages spoken in the world today is about 6,000. So I have 6,000 languages spoken in the world today. A few years back, say 40 or 50 years back, linguists recognized only 3,500 languages. So in half a century, thousands of languages were added. Now, human language has 4 skills. To master any human language, we need to master 4 skills. These 4 skills are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. In this order. Listening is number 1. Speaking, yeah, reading, and then writing. Why do we say listening comes first? Because unless one is exposed to linguistic data, he or she will never acquire or learn a language. So if somebody is deaf, he is bound not to have an output, a linguistic output. He won't be able to speak or acquire any sort of language. So listening comes first. We have to listen first, then speak. Now, language has 2 forms, a spoken form and a written form. In the spoken form, we use speech sounds. In the written form, we use letters. Now, the spoken form comes first. It comes first. In other words, children, when it comes to language acquisition, children acquire the first two skills first. So first, they listen. Children are good listeners, by the way. The fact that they don't speak until the age of 18 months does not mean that they don't communicate. They do listen, they do store sounds and words, and of course sentences, but till the age of 18 months, they can't speak because they attain the maturity age or maturation age by 1.5 years. When they get 1.5 years, they start producing. They have the ability to speak. Before that, they just listen. Of course, the more a child listens, the better his or her linguistic competence gets. Now, phonetics and phonology. I mean, the title of this course is phonology. Okay. Now, what is the difference between phonetics and phonology? This is the first question. So first, we need to explain the difference between phonetics and phonology. Both sciences, there are sciences, of course. As you know, the Latin element, ICS, and the element logi, both mean science or knowledge of, study of. ICS occurs in words like physics, mathematics, statistics, economics. So the ICS here does not have a plural S. It means science. That's why we say economics is, physics is, mathematics is. It's singular. So the ICS in the word phonetics means science. Same applies to the element logi in phonology or morphology, geology, biology. These are Greek and Latin elements. I mean, they are commonly used in the field of science in modern English. We call these neoclassical compounds because they were used in classical Greek and Latin, but now they have become part and parcel of the English vocabulary. So the number of Greek words incorporated in English is 51%. 51%, by the way, of English words come from Greek. And of course, almost the same. I mean, it could be 30%. 30% are of Latin origin. Now, both phonetics and phonology have the base phone. Phone, in both cases, means sound. Sound. This applies even to the word telephone. Has two elements, tele, which means far, and phone, which means sound. So telephone means a far sound. Far sound. Tele is used, in words like telecommunications, telegram, telepathy, telfridge. All these words have tele. Tele means far. Phone means sound. So the subject matter of both phonetics and phonology is the study of human speech sounds. They are both concerned with the study of human speech sounds. But how do they differ? What is the difference between phonetics and phonology? Now, okay. Now,
organize the linguistic sound to form a word.
Pardon me?
Now, what organize the linguistic sound to form a word?
Yeah, okay. Now, phonetics tells us how to pronounce each individual sound. So the main concern of phonetics is to teach us how individual sounds are produced. In other words, phonetics deals with individual sounds. All it tells us about a sound, whether it's a consonant, a vowel, etc., is how this sound is produced. What criteria are used to describe individual sounds? This is the main domain or concern of phonetics. For instance, given the sound b as in ban, all phonetics tells us about it is that it is a voiced bilabial stop sound. It's a voiced bilabial stop sound. No other sound has exactly the same three criteria. No two sounds share exactly the same three criteria. That's why we need to master the production of each and every sound individually so that we don't mispronounce any sound, because that causes misunderstanding. A certain language, English for instance, has 36 consonants and vowels. No other language has exactly the same number, or not necessarily the same number. No language has exactly the same sounds. That's why when we learn a language, we need to learn not only individual sounds, but we need to learn new habits of speech. So we shouldn't assume, for instance, that when we speak English, we'll be using the same places of articulation. Different languages have different sounds. These different sounds are described differently. They are described differently. Now, given a vowel sound, for instance, given the sound, the vowel sound oo, as in moon, spoon, what does phonetics tell us about it? What does it say about it? What information does phonetics provide about oo sound?
That it is
That it is rounded, it is back, it's rounded, and it's nearly close or nearly high. No other sound will have the same description. Now that's part of phonetics. That's the main domain of phonetics. Phonetics deals with sounds, not with letters. This is a cornerstone in distinguishing between phonetics, pronunciation, and spelling. Now, in spelling, we use letters. In pronunciation, we use sounds. So our main concern in studying both phonetics and phonology is the spoken form of language. The spoken form of language. Somebody's knocking on the door. عندي محاضرة. عندي محاضرة. طيب بس عندي محاضرة المفروض I'm still talking. That's the boy, right? Sorry about this. It's academic advising. Yeah? Right. Now, what aspects of sounds does phonology deal with? Phonology deals with the sound system. It deals with the sound system or the sound patterns. What does that mean? Okay, now here we need to talk about the structure of sounds, how sounds structure, how they combine together, and how they function. Phonology studies the structure and function of sounds. Every language has its own phonological system. Every language has its own phonological system. In other words, what sounds may begin a word, how many sounds may begin a word, for instance, what sounds may begin a word. This is part of the phonological system of any given language. All languages impose restrictions, all languages impose restrictions on how sounds combine to form words. In other words, phonology or sounds don't combine at random. They don't combine randomly. They follow certain rules. They follow certain rules. Remember those who have done Introduction to Linguistics, and I'm sure all of you have done it. Am I right? Yeah, okay. Now, one of the basic features or characteristic features of human language is that it is rule governed. It's rule governed. What does that mean? It's governed by rules. All languages are governed by rules. This is why we speak of a linguistic system. What is a system? It follows certain rules. It's well organized. That's why by studying this course, you'll be able to tell whether a certain word sounds English or not. Because we'll learn what sounds may occur at the beginning, what sounds may end the word, how many sounds combine together, and in what order. In what order? Let's just have right. Yeah, sure. It's not just these two sounds. Let me go through this. I'll try to illustrate with examples. Yeah. Okay. So, for instance, one of the rules is that no English word may begin with a voiced velar nasal sound. English words never begin with a voiced velar nasal sound, ing sound, while some African languages do. So in some African languages, you can have words like nkama. Now, this doesn't occur in English. We may have this sound at the end of words, in words like ring, or we may have it in the middle of words, but never at the beginning of words. Now, the first two questions are, what is phonetics and what is phonology? Okay. Now, the difference between phonetics and phonology is that phonetics deals with the classification, description, and transcription of individual. The word individual is underlined. Individual speech sounds. It deals with the classification. It tells us, for instance, that English has two types of sounds. It has consonants and vowels. It further tells us that sounds, depending on the exit of the earth stream, we may have oral sounds and nasal sound. And it tells us how to transcribe each individual sound. And of course, individual sounds to form words. while phonology is concerned with the sound system. It's concerned with the sound system, which means that it deals with the structure and function of sounds. Random. Is there anything wrong with the net? Can you hear me well?
Yes,
دكتور
صوتك
راح
ورجع.
Yeah, okay. Right. Sounds don't combine at random, but the distribution is governed by rules. That's why we say phonology is rule governed. It's governed by rules. So as we proceed, we'll learn new rules and try to apply them. Now, phonetics is mainly concerned with individual phonemes. There are two types. There are two types of phonemes. We have segmental phonemes and supra-segmental phonemes. Is that a new term? Okay. Now we have segmental phonemes. Okay, before we proceed to that, it's the next slide. Now, what do you mean by rule governed regarding the distribution of sounds in a
دكتور
word?
يعني في قوانين لازم نتبعها.
Pardon me?
يعني في قوانين دكتور لازم نتبعها في الشغله هاي.
Yeah, sure, of course. There are strict rules. Every human language imposes restrictions on how sounds are distributed in words in exactly the same manner that there are syntactic rules. There are syntax in the area of syntax. We have to follow certain rules, word order. So in English, for instance, we may have subject, verb, object. This is the word order of a declarative sentence in English or an affirmative sentence in English. So the word order in English cannot be object, subject, verb, can it? Yeah. In English syntax, adjectives come before nouns. In Arabic, they do come after nouns. Same applies to French. So every language imposes restrictions on the distribution of its linguistic elements, be they phonemes, words, etc. So it tells us how many sounds may occur together. How many sounds may combine together? Yeah. How many sounds may occur together? One of the rules of English phonology is that an English word may begin with 3 phonemes, 3 consonants, with 3 consonants. Of course, we'll have a second session if we run out of time. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes to record the first session, yeah? So don't go away. So we'll reconnect when we run out of time. Okay, we'll have a second session. Okay, so one of the rules of English phonology is that an English word may begin with 3 consonants. In other words, with a cluster of 3 consonants. And you know what a cluster is. I assume all of you have done it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
a
a group
cluster.
of consonants combined together.
Yeah, a cluster is a group of consonants combined together without any intervening vowel. In other words, we may have CC, 2 consonants. We may have C, 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 3 consonants without any intervening vowels, and we may have up to 4. In English, I mean, we have words that have a cluster of 4 consonants at the end. Okay, so it tells us how many sounds may occur together. So the first rule is that an English word may begin with 3 consonants. But that's not the whole story. That's not the whole story. Not any 3 sounds. It may begin, an English word may begin with 3 consonants, but not any 3 consonants. So if a word begins with 3 consonants, then C1, the first consonant, must be a S sound. The second consonant must be a voiceless stop. It must be a voiceless stop, one of these. One of these. So an English word may begin with S sound, followed by P sound, as in speak, followed by T sound, as in start, followed by a K sound, as in sky. Yes? Followed by C3. Now C3 must have one of these. One of these. So we could have, for instance, we can have S sound, followed by P, followed by L sound. Like splash, splendid, spleen, spleen, split, split. So it's not split. It's not split. It has to be C, C, C without vowels. If you say split or splendid, splendid, that wouldn't be C, C, C. It would be C, V. So this violates the phonological rules, the phonological system of English. That's why we need, once we have 3 consonants, we must say splendid, not splendid. Street, not street. Square, not sequer, because that would be CV, not CCC. So may have sound followed by p, followed by l, as in splendid. We may have words having sa sound at the beginning, ta sound, and ra sound, as in
Strong.
strong, very good.
Strang.
Strong.
Can we say it's strang?
No, we need, or string, you mean? Okay, that's fine. We can say struggle. Struggle. Street. Straight. Straight. Strike. So it's not strike. Most Arabs, by the way, most Arab learners of English tend to say strike. It's strike. Strike with no V's. We can have sa sound followed by ka sound followed by l sound. One extra mark for anybody who can give an example of sa sound followed by ka followed by l. One extra mark. See, I'm so generous.
ايش هم
Kills.
دكتور اس
Kills,
KL
doctor.
Sorry?
Kills.
No, we need the sa sound. Sa. 3 C's. Sa. Ka sound, not letter. And la. So have 3 C's.
Dr. May scroll.
Again.
Scroll.
Crawl.
Yeah.
Did you say school?
Elimination.
Did you say school?
Sculpture.
Cool.
Say it again.
Scroll or
Now make sure that that we have 3 consonant, 3 C's, C1, C2, C3, without any intervening vowels.
دكتور is it okay if it was in the middle of word?
At the beginning of words, yeah. Again, scloning. Okay, that would be fine. Is that Osama? Yeah, very good, Osama. And we can have sclerosis with a C. SC, the spelling is SC, but the pronunciation is with a K sound. Sclerosis. But words like skill has CCV. Sculpture has CCV.
Scratch, doctor.
Scratch.
Yes.
Yeah, scratch would be sa sound, ka sound, ra sound. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, scratch.
Exclamation mark.
Again.
Exclamation mark.
Exclamation. X. We have an E at the beginning.
Oh, yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Exclamation.
Can we say sclera?
Yeah. Sclerosis is okay.
Sclera.
That's a good example. How about this one? Sa, ka, ya sound. Or wa sound. Sa,
Squeeze.
ka, wa sound.
Square.
Square. Very good. Squeeze. Squeeze.
Squad.
Square.
Squad.